Darkest greetings, Black Witch Melissa here, and I wanted to share with you today another testimonial with regards to my Santisima Muerte. So, I owned a 2007 Saturn Vue. I bought it off someone for about $2,000. The previous owner didn't really take care of it much, so I would fix it here, there, everywhere, wherever I could. Driving to work on a Sunday morning, I had about 4 different lights come on my dashboard all at once, and then my car died. And I had just enough momentum and just enough turn on the wheel to get it off the side of the road. Of course, I happened to be talking to my supervisor at the time, and I told her, I said, hey, my car just died on my way to work. And she was like, well, where are you at? And so I told her where I was, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll come get you, whatever. So she picked me up, we went to work. I called my husband at the time and told him, hey, listen, the car died on my way into work. And so he got a hold of his brother. I told him where the car was. They went and looked at the car after it had been sitting there for several hours because he wasn't answering right away. And so him and his brother checked it out. The car started, whatever. They drove it back to the house. I was able to start it the next day. But after that experience, I was like, okay, I better go shopping, looking around. So I was online looking at one of the local dealerships here and there. And somehow it triggered something from one of the sales reps. So they called me. And they were like, hey, would you like to come down and check the vehicle that you were looking at, blah, blah, whatever. So I did. So here. I called my bank to see if I can get either a personal loan, because I was also paying on my daughter's vehicle at the time. So I still had that balance going on. And they took all the information that they needed, blah, blah, ran it through. I didn't qualify. So I figured, okay, well, let me call the bank that I've got my daughter's loan through. Explain to them, look, I'm having car problems. I'd like to take the remaining balance off of my daughter's vehicle, and maybe would you be willing to tack it on to this one of another car that I'm looking at, blah, blah. No, I'd have to open up a separate account. I'm trying to avoid paying 2 cars. Okay, fine. They couldn't do that. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll see what I could do. I'll, hang on to this one for a little bit longer till I pay her car off, and then I'll look at getting something for myself later. So, about a week or so after the whole thing, I get a text message from another sales agent at the same dealership. Hey, listen, so-and-so isn't working here anymore. I've gotten a hold of all of his clients, blah, blah. I don't think that he used all the, resources that he had available to him in order to get you into the kind of car that you've got or you were looking for at the time. We don't have that vehicle here, but would you be willing to come back and look at something else that I more or less have for you, blah, blah. I told the guy, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll come back. And, of course, I'm sitting here. My Santa Muerte is like right here. She's right next to me, right? So she can see, and, when I'm sitting here doing schoolwork, because that's what I do. I sit here, working on schoolwork, or I'm sitting here working on my books. I published one, by the way, La Santisima Muerte Grimoire. It's available on Amazon right now. I'm working on the second book. It's a 5-book series. Anyway, getting back to the story. So, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to her and I'm like, honey, I said, the only way that this is going to work is unless they cut me a check to pay off my other daughter's car. I said, and they can make it one payment. I said, because I don't want to. I said, other than that, I said, there's no way this is going to happen. I said, I've already got a mortgage, I'm already paying car insurance, and I've got all the other utilities and everything else going on. So I go in, and it happened to be on my father's birthday that I went. So the guy greets me, whatever. Hey, you want some coffee? You want this? You want that? Want water? Want whatever? No, I'm fine. I brought in a cup of coffee, whatever. So he shows me the other car, and we take it out for a test drive, blah, blah, this, that, and the other, the whole 9 yards, and shows me all the bells and whistles and everything. So then we come back, we sit at his desk, and he goes, okay, so here's what we're going to do. He says, this car is this much. He says, I know you told me that you're paying on your daughter's car. I said, we're going to take the remaining balance of that, we're going to roll it into this. We're going to cut you a check for that car so that you can pay off the other bank, because we already called them and we got a final balance. I'm sitting here the whole entire time going, oh, holy shit balls. That was exactly what I told my Santa Muerte needed to happen. And she knew that I had been struggling with this vehicle for a while. One of the tires was going bad. Every time I drove that thing over 90 miles an hour, especially if it was over 90 degrees outside, the thermostat would go up, all sorts of things with this vehicle. But it was getting me from work, from point A to point B, and I had bought it for like over 3 years ago. So, So they looked at it and they said, well, there's not much of a trade-in value, but we'll tack it on. And then, so long story short, I walked away with a new vehicle. They sent me a check in the mail about a week later. I paid off my daughter's car, still making only one payment. And now that we are getting into September and the colder weather and the winter and everything, I will be great. So, yes, she hears you. Yes, Santa Muerte sees your struggles. She knows when you need the help, and she'll provide it for you. She didn't throw money at me all of a sudden to, for me to get a luxurious freaking vehicle, because I wasn't looking for anything fancy or anything like that. But yeah, this is how she is. This is how she works. She does things in her own way. The mere fact that I was sitting here telling her this is the only way it's going to happen, and she turned around and did it exactly the way she knew that I needed for it to happen in order for me to get a new car, was awesome. This is why I love her. And I love Lucifer too, and that whole entire gang, because they too have come through for me, and them and Santa Muerte, without them, without the push, the inspirations, the motivations, the stuff like that, I wouldn't get through day. I wouldn't get through it. They've pushed for me to go back to school to finish. They're pushing me further to write the books that I'm writing, working on a class that I'll be offering soon, all these things. If it wasn't for them, I honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I just figured I'd share with that. Darkest blessings, one and all. Everybody have a great day.